Later on The Tonight Show, Jay shoots it out with Ned Kelly's Outback outlaw Heath Ledger, plus comic Adam Ferrara and the music of Murphy Lee. Your local news is next.
Her car broke down and she blames the gas station.
They should just step up to the plate and accept responsibility.
But the station says it's not their fault. So now the troubleshooters are stepping in.
But first, a 3-year-old shot hit with gunshot pellets. Investigators say gang violence led to this shooting. Tonight, News 4 rode along with SAPD's gang unit as they try to track down the shooter in this case. Our Joel Eisenbaum is live at the SAPD headquarters uncovering what they found. Joel.
Well, Roy, no arrests in this case tonight, but I can tell you from what I saw, it looks like police are a lot closer to making one. And you know, these gang unit officers, they work off of tips, they work off of leads, and they work by just going out into the community and talking to people. And in this case, it would appear that is what's working.
And I've got a possible address.
I think it was him. Maybe we'll catch them both.
You don't waste time once you get a lead on an attempted murder case.
He's supposed to be there.
Gang unit officers are looking for a gang member, but not one they know much about. He's not one of the 5,700 documented gang members in San Antonio. But the teen may have been involved in last night's shooting, a botched drive-by that sent a 3-year-old to the hospital.
You don't have to talk to anybody else, just talk to me for 5 minutes.
There's a problem, though. The suspected gang member's mom won't talk to police and won't let them in the house. For now, she can do that. There's no arrest warrant. Officers back off, but know they'll be back here.
Oh, yeah. Great picture, too.
Now, tonight, when those gang unit officers dropped us off here at SAPD headquarters, they still had a lot of work to do tonight. They don't get off until 2 a.m. They wanted to see if they could find the suspect vehicle, and of course, they want to talk to more witnesses and identify more suspects. Reporting live downtown, I'm Joel Eisenbaum, News 4 WOAI.
Thanks, Joel. As for the 3-year-old shot early this morning, he's expected to be okay. Alexander Aguirre was among a crowd of people at an apartment complex on South General McMullen. Police say gang members shot into the crowd with a shotgun, and some pellets hit Alexander twice in the chest. His babysitter wrapped him up in a blanket until EMS crews arrived.
Whether it be a pellet or a bullet is going to do some damage, and especially with a child, I think that they're obviously more susceptible to injury.
Little Alexander is now at University Hospital in stable condition. When police catch the shooter, they could be charged with attempted murder. New at 10, he was a rookie hero who fought off a vicious criminal during a shootout last year. Now, Officer Michael Muniz is being honored by the White House for his bravery.
I definitely want to thank God. God was there that night. It's impossible for anybody to say he wasn't. He was there for all 4 of us.
Muniz will be given the Presidential Medal of Valor Monday in Washington, D.C. Either President Bush or Vice President Dick Cheney will present him the medal. Muniz was hailed a hero in the Denny shootout last year between 4 San Antonio police officers and a violent suspect. The suspect was killed, but all 4 officers survived. News 4 uncovering problems with public records online. A local woman is worried a document she filed at the county clerk's office will be an open invitation to identity thieves. We're concealing her identity, but she just found out a document filed at the courthouse is now online on the county webpage. It gives her and her children's Social Security numbers. She tried to get the document removed, but was told that it's against the law. The Attorney General's office is looking into ways to change the law, but that won't be enough.
What we would await is based on those determinations that the legislature makes changes in the statutes, and those are the ones that we will obey.
Senator Jeff Wentworth tells News 4 he's investigating the situation and assures us he will look into ways to change the existing law. We'll keep you posted. Speed cushions, they're just a bump in the road for drivers, but for one Northside woman, they're a major nuisance. News 4 WOAI's Amy Davis explains how the city gave her a job she didn't ask for when it gave a neighborhood new humps. It's a story you'll see only on 4.
They're speed cushions, and they're supposed to help people on this Northside street by forcing cars to slow down. But homeowner Sylvia Lee got a bigger problem when a city inspector came knocking on her door.
And he said, ma'am, we got a complaint about your sign in your front yard. And I said, my sign?
Actually, this sign belongs to the city. Crews just happened to put it under Lee's tree. That was 5 months ago. Lee's tree has been here 26 years.
The more I thought about it, the madder I got. But
the city said the tree twigs and branches were blocking their sign, and from now on, it's Lee's responsibility to keep them trimmed and out of their way.
I mean, it's my yard, and they put a sign in it, and they say, I have to get the tree trimmed, or I'm going to get a citation.
What came first, the tree or the sign?
Well, I think we need to be considerate. You know, I'm a professional engineer, so I am bounded by state law on my licensure is to think of public safety first.
And so I told him that I was a widow, that did he want me to climb up the tree and cut it myself, you know? Yeah, real safe.
And besides, how is this considered safe? In about half an hour, we caught dozens of speeders sailing over the speed cushions. Just a minor blip in their day. But for Lee, the new responsibility is a major pain in her life.
I guess I'm gonna have to keep it trimmed around the sign.
Amy Davis, News 4, WOAI.
San Antonio tonight, Castle Hills Baptist Church leaders are weighing their options tonight. They just lost their lawsuit against the city of Castle Hills. They wanted to build a parking lot by the church, but the city wouldn't grant a permit. A federal judge sided with the city. The battle for that parking lot has lasted 7 years. The punishment phase for convicted killer Rodrigo Hernandez will continue on Monday. Hernandez was found guilty yesterday of raping and killing Susan Verstegen more than 10 years ago. Hernandez could get the death penalty. For the first time since 2 murders at a Northside apartment complex, the aunt of one of the victims speaks out about her late nephew. It's only on 4.
All I could think about was how frightened he must have been. You know, he ran for his life. He was trying to get out of the apartment. And that's the worst part. That's the very worst, is wondering how he felt, wondering if he was frightened.
20-year-old Noah Espada was arrested for both Luke Scott and Sandro Ramos's murders. Police say Espada intended on killing Scott because he had been fired from Polyester's nightclub. As far as Ramos, police say she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. If convicted of either murder, Espada could face the death penalty. New tonight, 2 students critically hurt in a wreck last month are doing better tonight. We've learned Nathan Brown and Rose Brooks are now both in rehab. 16-year-old Brown just began eating yesterday. They're recovering from an accident on Loop 1604 last month. Rose's brother John and their friend Brett Huser were both killed in that wreck. Their families are still taking donations to help pay for their medical costs. Iraq 1 year later. Tonight marks the 1-year anniversary since the bombing began in Iraq, but U.S. leaders say there's still plenty of work to do. Right now, plans include the transfer of power from the U.S.-led coalition to Iraqis on June 30th. Then leaders hope to hold free elections in Iraq by next January. President Bush marked the 1-year anniversary of the war in Iraq by speaking to leaders of 83 foreign countries at the White House.
Whatever their past views, every nation now has an interest in a free, successful, stable Iraq.
So far, 568 U.S. service members have died in Iraq. 430 of those deaths happened after May 1st, when President Bush declared an end to the war. The Weston Center downtown honored friends and family of the tenants deployed in the U.S. military services. A larger-than-life poster has hung in the library since the beginning of the war. Over the past year, the memorial has taken on a life of its own.
We wanted to remind everyone in the building that the war was being fought by real people, our friends, and our friends of friends. The people on the wall are real people, and putting their lives at risk.
Each person on the wall has been sent a care package from the Weston Care Center as a show of support. The patriotic poster continues to be updated with letters, cards, and even photos of the loved ones in the Middle East. City Council will present a report calling for more money for the library. San Antonio is growing rapidly and the library budget can't keep up. So Councilman Julian Castro wants to create a library district that would govern the library system and raise funds necessary for books, maintenance, and other services. So how bad is the situation?
Today we find ourselves in San Antonio near dead last among our top 10 competitive cities in how much library services we provide.
Castro thinks more money for the library produces a more educated community and results in less crime. Castro will present his library district plan to council in the future. If council approves, it'll go before the voters. A gas leak caused a huge headache earlier today on the northeast side. A bulldozer operator accidentally hit a gas main on the corner of Harry Wurzbach and Austin Highway. Crews had to close parts of the road till they cleaned it up. No one was hurt. Her car sputtered until it died, and she says it's because she got the wrong gas in her car.
And then he called me back and says, you have 8 gallons of diesel fuel in your car.
She called the Trouble Shooters to help figure out the possible fuel mix-up. Plus, a miracle child in Florida. She survived a transplant operation involving 8 different organs. These hospital employees sleeping on the job. Find out why that's okay with their bosses.
Fog, drizzle, sun, and a cold front, all in the picture for the weekend. I'll have details coming up.
It's the latest internet ripoff that takes money out of your bank account without you knowing.
Someone knows about my account. Someone has my check, actually.
Troubleshooter Tangi Patton shows you how to avoid this scam. Monday at 10 on News 4 WOAI.
News 4 WOAI is brought to you by Ancira Chrysler Jeep.
SBC Yahoo DSL saves time versus dial-up, so you can spend less time looking up father and son activities and ordering hobby kits, and more time enjoying them.
Should have brought Mom's car.
Get SBC Yahoo DSL for $29.95 a month. Connect 2 or more computers with SBC Home Networking for just $50.
The Stampede is on, and now's the time to save on every Ford SUV in stock. It's Truck Month at your Texas Ford dealer, and that means huge savings on our entire award-winning line of SUVs, including Escape, Explorer, Expedition, and more. With financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months, and just announced cash rebates up to $4,000. For a stampede of savings, get to Truck Month at your Texas Ford dealer today.
Excuse me. Tired of always sitting in coach? Excuse me? Upgrading your home to first class costs less than you think. Shop Havertys Weekend Sale for a wide variety of furniture with exceptional comfort and style. And now it's even more affordable with no payments and no interest until July 2005. So enjoy first class living every day. Havertys makes it home.
Texas, there's a new car in town. The all-new Chevy Malibu LT. The only car in its class with factory-installed remote start. And a flat-fold front passenger seat. And it's priced thousands less than a comparably equipped Camry or Accord. Now get $1,750 total cash back or 1.9% APR for 60 months for qualified buyers on every Chevy Malibu.
Chevy driving Texas.
The all-new Chevy Malibu LT. See your Texas Chevy dealer. Chevy, driving Texas.
Tonight, Jay's all new with Heath Ledger. Plus, celebrate 12 years of Ed Hall's greatest hits. Then on Conan, Ethan Hawke and Neil Young. All new tonight.
News 4 WOAI is brought to you by Toyota Town Dealers.
You're watching News 4 WOAI.
News 4 WOAI in the Cone Zone. Loop 410 doesn't look so bad right now, but don't plan on driving the stretch of road over the weekend. That's because beginning at 6 a.m., crews will close alternating lanes of Loop 410 between Fredericksburg Road and I-10 for bridge work. And it gets worse. All lanes of westbound 410 between San Pedro and Honeysuckle will also be closed tomorrow. That includes entrance ramps from Blanco Road. All the lanes will reopen at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. America tonight, a medical miracle in Miami. This Italian baby is recovering tonight after receiving 8 new organs during a marathon transplant surgery. The little girl was born with a congenital muscle disorder. She received a new liver, stomach, pancreas, small and large intestines, spleen, and 2 kidneys. Doctors say her 8-organ surgery is the first of its kind.
Your Honor, I do not want to be incarcerated.
An Arizona bishop convicted of hitting and killing a man with his car says he doesn't want to go to jail. Bishop Thomas O'Brien did apologize to the victim's family. He'll be sentenced next week and could either get probation or merely 4 years in prison. Young children or pregnant women should watch the fish they eat. Today, the FDA announced mercury levels in some fish may be too high to eat and could affect the developing brain and nervous systems of unborn babies. Types of fish with high levels of mercury include shark, swordfish, king mackerel, and tilefish. A San Antonio woman is left with big repair bills after diesel fuel ends up in her car. But how did it get there, and is the gas station to blame? News 4 troubleshooter Jay Leno investigates this costly fuel mix-up.
Marlene Malcolm used to be a regular customer at the Exxon station on I-10 West near UTSA Boulevard. But after she stopped by for a fill-up one day in late January, Malcolm's Cavalier began to sputter.
It'd start up and die, start up and die.
And a couple days later, it wouldn't start at all.
Then my mechanic, we called my mechanic, and he came, picked up the car. And then he called me back and says, you have 8 gallons of diesel fuel in your car.
8 gallons of diesel fuel. Malcolm's longtime mechanic says it ruined the car's fuel pump.
As soon as I pulled the line off the fuel filter, I smelled the diesel fuel. You can smell it just like that.
Definitely diesel fuel in her tank.
Oh, definitely diesel fuel in the tank.
Marlene says there's no way she could have put the wrong kind of gas in her car because there is no diesel at the pump she used. Plus, she kept her receipt, which clearly says that she selected regular unleaded.
Malcolm is convinced Exxon's unleaded pump was contaminated with diesel fuel, and she wants the company to pay her $527 repair bill.
It had to have been in the wrong pump. So I feel that they're liable for it, and they should just step up to the plate and accept responsibility.
So we went by to ask the Exxon station manager for his side of the story. The manager said we would have to call Exxon's corporate office in Virginia, which we did.
Is it possible one of your tanker trucks could have put diesel fuel into the wrong pump?
When our tanks were tested, there was nothing found in those tanks other than unleaded gasoline. There was no other contaminants, nothing. And we had no other complaints that day from any other customers.
And so for now, it's a standoff. Marlene Malcolm is stuck with the repair bill, and Exxon has lost a loyal customer at a time when a lot of drivers are already fuming over the high price of fuel. I'm News 4 WOAI troubleshooter Jay Leno.
Hey, if you have a problem you want the troubleshooters to check out, give them a call at 476-1026 or log on to our website, WOAI.com.
In the southern part of Texas, in the town of San Antonio.
9-time Grammy Award winners sleep at the wheel. Remember the Alamo this evening. Ray Benson and his band rocked the Majestic with a benefit concert. They played songs from an album of Texas and Alamo theme songs. All the money raised from the ticket sales will go to benefit the Alamo. And don't forget, the Alamo is hitting the big screen. The new Alamo movie opens in theaters April 9th. Billy Bob Thornton, Dennis Quaid, and other stars will be here in San Antonio next weekend for the premiere. And if you can't make it down there, keep it here on 4. We'll have a special edition of San Antonio Living, the Alamo premiere, live at 5 p.m. next Saturday. Some San Antonio hospital employees are being paid to sleep on the job.
For a full hour.
But it's for a good cause. Baptist Health System workers are taking 1-hour naps to raise money for Habitat for Humanity. It began at 10 this morning and will continue through 10 a.m. tomorrow. And the Baptist Health System expects to raise $40,000 for Habitat.
Habitat for Humanity is just one of those things that to me sticks out as a great way to exhibit your faith.
You can stop by the Baptist Medical Center on Dallas Street tomorrow morning and get a free sleep test to help diagnose any sleeping disorders. For your health, more than 18 million people in the United States have diabetes, and more than 5 million of those are undiagnosed. Now News 4 is presenting the 4th Annual Diabetes Expo. It begins tomorrow at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Admission is free and open to the public. Free shuttle service will also be available. And there'll be some screening. For more information, log on to our website at WOAI.com. It's spring cleaning time for the San Antonio River tomorrow. Volunteers will help out during tomorrow's Basura Bash and expect to pick up between 12 and 18 tons of trash. Hear more about the annual Basura Bash tomorrow morning on News Radio 1200 WOAI beginning at 5 a.m.
Now, your WOAI forewarned storm team forecast.
We have lots of clouds, but right now pretty dry across the area. That's probably going to change though overnight with that drizzle and the fog coming back into the picture for the morning. Let me show you the temperatures. They're not bad at all. It's a little breezy, comfortable temperatures as well. Full wind storm stations, a lot of places now into the upper 60s. Riverwalk at 69, Junction at 68. Poteet and Floresville both at 69 as well. Along the border, you are a little warmer with Del Rio and Eagle Pass sitting at 73. We have lots of clouds over the area. Those clouds will continue to lower overnight. We'll probably even see some fog out there in the morning. We have a little trough that's out to our west, a little dry line that's trying to set up. That's going to start moving across the state tomorrow. Here's the cold front. Fairly slow mover right now, but it should move all the way down towards Dallas by tomorrow afternoon and then sweep across our area. It looks like mid to late morning on Sunday. That's going to bring a chance for showers and storms. At the same time, we have this little upper level disturbance that's making its way onto the Baja Peninsula. This is also helping to pump in some moisture from the Pacific. So we have moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and we had the moisture from the Pacific. This moisture could mean a little bit better chance west of San Antonio tomorrow to pick up the showers and even an isolated thunderstorm or two. We'll start out in the morning with some fog, also seeing that little patchy drizzle. Here's the cold front. It will continue to move southward during the afternoon. Breezy for us in the afternoon and warm. High temperatures hitting around 81. I'm hoping we'll see a little more sunshine. It's mainly for San Antonio to the east. We'll start to get those breaks in the clouds. Feel like with that upper level low pulling in the moisture from the Pacific that we will see that chance for at least some spotty drizzle hanging around into the afternoon, especially west of San Antonio. Here's tomorrow morning at 8 on our 4-1 predictor, picking up that drizzle. Let me take you into the afternoon and notice that we had that large area of at least some light showers. They should be pretty spotty, but feel like some areas will also see some sunshine as we go through the afternoon. So kind of that mixed bag on your Saturday. For Sunday, well, here comes the front. Notice a large area of rain developing. Most of it should be widely scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms. So don't be surprised if you hear those rumble of thunders between late morning on Sunday and into the early afternoon. Here's your 4-1 storm team forecast tonight. Just patchy fog and drizzle developing late night, low of 67. Tomorrow starts out kind of gloomy, but I'm hoping that improves for the afternoon with a little sunshine and high around 81. 4-1 storm team 7-day forecast. Cold front comes through on Sunday, so that will knock the lows back into the 50s early next week. Monday, only a high of 70. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, lots of clouds and a chance for at least spotty showers.
First day of spring, a little funky, huh?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A little funky on your Saturday.
That's why I get the big bucks. Thank you. Tonight's Extreme Video. Look at that. It's a dangerous world out there when hundreds of brides-to-be rush to buy a designer dress at a bargain price.
I'm going down!
Yeah, that's what happens when women try to grab as many dresses as they can to try them on, I guess. The annual dress rush happened at the Fellini's basement in Atlanta yesterday, and I believe that's where Dave gets all his apparel.
Stop. There was a great Friends episode on that subject as well. And I think we should just probably not touch it anymore after that.
Now to sports.
You and I would both be in a lot of trouble. Hey, how big was last night's Spurs game? Enough to change your mind. And what's the change with Tim? All the latest on Duncan. And Tim Carter goes looking around next.
They chose not to investigate until you guys got involved.
News 4 WOAI.
You saw where the problems were right away.
Real investigation.
Do we know how much is missing?
No, sir, I have no idea.
Real results.
We're going to follow up. We're going to make sure that the right thing is done.
News 4 WOAI Trouble Shooters.
And if there is criminal conduct, that it's prosecuted.
They don't stop till they get the truth.
They wanted to cover up the story.
Investigating, uncovering, solving problems.
You did your job.
The hottest new looks have arrived, and they're on sale at Foley's Spring Sale right now. It's the best time to save on this season's most vivid colors. Save even more with your extra 20% off bonus coupons at the Spring Sale, only at Foley's.
Escalade and XM satellite radio. Nothing rocks louder. Cadillac. Breakthrough.
Visit your San Antonio Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Save big at Foley Spring Sale starting tomorrow. Save on everything from colorful new skirts to casual and dress shirts for him. And check out our exclusive hotel suite collection.
Always something there to excite me.
The Spring Sale, only at Foley's.
Today's News 4 WOAI stock flash. The Dow is down 109. The The S&P is down 12.5, and the NASDAQ is down 22.
In Texas, we know a good truck when we see one. Introducing the new Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab. With plenty of room for all the things that matter most. Plus more standard horsepower than Ford or Dodge, all in one smooth riding truck. The new Chevy Silverado half-ton crew cab. The Texas Truck Festival and the new Silverado half-ton crew cab with $3,250 total cash back. Chevy, drive in Texas.
Think big during North Park Lincoln Mercury's March Marathon sales event. Think big savings like this luxurious Lincoln Town Car Signature Series with all this and more for just $32,995. And for current owners who are AARP members, it's just $31,495. Then think big bonuses like no charge oil and filter changes and unlimited car washes. Follow the searchlights till midnight to America's #1 Lincoln Mercury retailer, North Park Lincoln Mercury. And think big.
This is Ticket 760 Sports on News 4 WOAI.
What a difference a day makes. Check this out. Last night I asked you if you thought the Spurs would win the division. 55% of you said no. Less than 24 hours later, 62% called the Spurs division champs. We don't have fair weather fans in San Antonio, do we? Tell you what, we have a relieved coach. Tim's knee looks like it's going to be just fine.
Tim felt pretty good this morning. I think he felt more sore from playing overall body-wise and getting hit and cracked and playing the 27 minutes. He felt that more than he felt his knee.
Showing up at practice, a huge deal, especially since Tim Duncan went 27 minutes last night against the T-Wolves. His fourth quarter helped the Spurs win, and that could jumpstart the push for that #1 seed.
Every game counts so much more right now, and as you said, a whole game on these guys is big, but we want to be the best team we can be going into the playoffs. Of course, we're chasing them, and all we can control is what we do. We can't control what they do.
Big news nationally, Tim did not start last night. It's no news here. I'll tell you why coming up on Ticket Talk. Barkley loves Manu. Kevin Garnett doesn't love Manu. KG and Gino got into it a couple of times last night. Bruce, Tim Duncan both had to step in. It's more Kevin being a hothead than anything, but it's something to watch. Consider this when the Spurs go to Minnesota Tuesday. But first things first, Boston here tomorrow night, 7:30 start at the SBC Center. And speaking of Minnesota, Suns retiring Barkley's jersey. Too bad they couldn't help out the Spurs because Minnesota was in town. Wally Szczerbiak went off. KG to Latrell to Wally for the bucket then. Wally outside for three. He had a great night. He had a good night last night as well. The T-Wolves win this one, and they're now 2 games up on the Spurs in the Midwest Division. Talk about your Final Four storylines. Texas, North Carolina, and the Supermodel Press Conference. Got your attention now, don't I? Texas, Carolina, the big-name coaches. Rick Barnes and Roy Williams go way back, but evidently that first impression didn't register with Roy Williams. But evidently Roy Williams sets that standard pretty high.
You know, if it were Julia Roberts, I would have remembered the first time I met her. I remember the first time I ever met Elle Macpherson. I don't know that I remember the first time I ever ate Rick's butt, but maybe that puts him in a good category, just normal.
Little obsession going on there. The Horns play late tomorrow night. That's out of the Atlanta bracket. And how about Bobby Knight and Texas Tech? They get the #1 St. Joe's. That one starts at 4:30. This guy might think about booking a suite on the Riverwalk. That's because Oklahoma State off and running. John Lucas Jr. scored 15 against Eastern Washington. Absolutely no upset here. #2 in a blowout, 75-56. UTSA's back, got home this afternoon, and Coach Tim Carter already leaving tomorrow. It's a week-long recruiting trip, and this NCAA trip should be a big selling point.
Well, I'm hitting the road recruiting tomorrow morning, so and I'll be gone for about a week trying to get 2 more players. We've got to try and do a good job and finish up our recruiting. Hopefully we can capitalize while the iron's a little hot right now and get 2 more really good players.
T-Bone, talk about your happy homecoming rampage on the ice. Dennis Vidke back in town, spent the last 2 games with the big boys in Florida. They learned something, I guess. Vidke the goal, and hey, 2-2 tie, or actually 2-2 the final in that one. between the Rampage and Chicago. Coming up, making news or making sense. The two tales of benching a superstar next.
News 4 WOAI is brought to you by K-9 Advantix.
Chevy. No one has won more NASCAR Cup races, and no one offers a bigger lineup of cars and trucks. Participate in the Chevy Ride and Drive on March 27th and 28th and get $500 bonus cash on top of already great incentives, like $3,250 total cash back on a 2004 Chevy Silverado or $4,000 total cash back on a 2004 Chevy Tahoe. Chevy. Turn the key. Start a revolution. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Today's aquifer level, 682.1. It's down.
News 4 WOAI is brought to you by SBC.
There's a new way to purchase a Chevrolet in San Antonio. It's about change, low prices, integrity. Introducing the new Freedom Chevrolet.
We're out to give you more Freedom Chevrolet.
Introducing Subway's new Atkins-friendly turkey and bacon melt wrap. With under 11 net carbs, it won't make up for those sick days you spent on the golf course, but it will help make up for your recent high-carb hijinks. Subway, good, so you don't always have to be.
Are we there yet? Is dinner ready yet? Are those numbers crunched yet? As a people, we are an impatient lot. Have you cleaned your room yet? Finished your homework yet? We are a nation of finger tappers, clock watchers, a can-do people who simply cannot wait to get things done. At SBC, we have that same impatient streak. We're in a hurry to bring you technologies that go far beyond the telephone, but are as simple and as reliable as the dial tone. And as we do, we'll continue to ask ourselves, are we there yet? At SBC, impatience is a virtue. SBC, going beyond the call.
There's a new way to purchase a Chevrolet in San Antonio. It's about dedication, low prices, satisfaction. Introducing the new Freedom Chevrolet.
We're out to give you more Freedom Chevrolet.
Tonight's Ticket Talk Perspective. Benching an all-star makes news in Philly, especially when Allen Iverson called it an insult. Quote, I don't know any franchise players that come off the bench, don't know any Olympian that comes off the bench, any all-star that comes off the bench, I don't know any former MVP that comes off the bench. Why Allen Iverson, end quote. Why indeed, you the man, Allen. You ran off Larry Brown, you alienated every front office schmo, but you're right. Your coach, Chris Ford, tried to score points with his boss and show he could discipline the big bad Allen Iverson. That's a dumb move, Coach. Even a media geek like me knows the rules. This is a players' league. The money's guaranteed just as much as the egos. And that's why Pop's hitting Tim last night was such big news nationally. Tim's a class act. Pop's got guts. Brilliant coaching. Sure, but none of that is news here in San Antonio, and none of that had anything to do with sitting the MVP. Pop simply wanted Duncan for the fourth quarter, period. Making that news? Please, that makes no sense. For that or anything else, call us next week on Sports Talk San Antonio on the Ticket 760. And by the way, Tim Duncan may not start tomorrow night. Tim, he doesn't know how many minutes he's going to play. Right. Pop wants him for the fourth. It's just good basketball coaching.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Getting ready for your new GMC?
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for an incredible offer on Yukons from the San Antonio Rodeo. Get a new Yukon XL available with option packages including StabiliTrak, side impact airbags, and more, a $2,000 discount. Add the discount to total cash back for a total value of $6,000. See your select GMC dealers today.
Come celebrate the grand opening of the bigger, better Bluebonnet Ford. Now on I-35 with better ideas like our customer cafe and kids playground. Shop now during truck month and you can actually get this 04 Super Crew with all this and more posted at only $23,995. Then get a bonus bed liner, no charge oil and filter changes, plus unlimited car washes during our big grand opening. We're bigger, we're better, and now more than ever before.
At Bluebonnet, price is the difference.
For millions of adults with high cholesterol, diet and exercise aren't always enough. But adding Lipitor can help lower your total cholesterol 29 to 45%. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a serious side effect. So take the next step. Ask your doctor if Lipitor is right for you.
How it sounds.
Tomorrow, we're going to start out with patchy drizzle and fog in the morning. 68 at 8 in the morning, 81 the high. Looks like we'll see, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, a little bit of sunshine on the first day of spring. When you wake up in the morning, we'll officially be into spring.
Okay, finally springtime. Well, that does it for tonight. Jay Leno is next. He has Heath Ledger. We'll see you.
You're watching NBC, America's late night leader.